The Lord be with you. Listen now to a reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew. At that time, again Jesus spoke to the chief priests and the elders of the people in parables, saying, "The kingdom of heaven may be compared to a king who gave a marriage feast for his son and sent his servants to call those who were invited to the marriage feast, but they would not come. Again, he sent other servants, saying, 'Tell those who are invited, behold, I have made ready my dinner. My oxen, my fat calves are killed, and everything is ready. Come to the marriage feast.' But they made light of it and went off, one to his farm, another to his business, while the rest seized his servants, treated them shamefully, and killed them. The king was angry, and he sent his troops and destroyed those murderers and burned their city. Then he said to his servants, 'The wedding is ready, but those invited were not worthy. Go therefore to the streets and invite to the marriage feast many as you find.' And those servants went out into the streets and gathered all whom they found, both bad and good, so the wedding hall was filled with guests. But then the king came in to look at the guests. He saw there was a man there who had no wedding garment, and he said to him, 'Friend, how did you get in here without a wedding garment?' And he was speechless. Then the king said to the attendants, 'Bind him hand and foot and cast him into the outer darkness, where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. For many are called, but a few are chosen.'" The Gospel of the Lord. When I was reading the Gospel, I said to myself, what a disaster. It's very bizarre. The king sent out an invitation, and people invited who? I'm the king of all people, the king. This is not just an ordinary guy sending out an invitation. This is the king, and he said, "No, don't want." When the king goes out of his way and sends another invitation, even suiting the deal, saying, "Everything's ready, please come, see what I prepared for you." They wouldn't. And what's bizarre about the second attempt for this invitation is that they even beat up the servants and killed them. What a story. They killed them just because they're being invited by the king. Then the king gets upset and sends his army to destroy that city. Then the invitation is extended to the other people. It says there, both bad and good, they should come to the marriage feast. They come. Then there's another guy without a wedding garment. The story doesn't end. There's another guy without a wedding garment, and the king says, "Why are you here without a wedding garment?" And then he was speechless. That's interesting. He was speechless. And the king says, "Bind him up. Bind him up. Throw him out into the outer darkness, and there's gnashing of teeth." It depends how you want to look at the story. It's full of violence. It's full of violence. Those invited in the first place kill the messengers. The king reacts and destroys the whole city. And this guy who sneaks in without wedding garment is thrown out of darkness. You know, says yourself, I'll see about it. The basic line, of course, is that Jesus is saying to the Jews, it's not enough for you to be Jews that you enter the kingdom of heaven. You've got to play your parts. Basically what he's saying. But it portrays the king who can be mean if he wants to. Now, I said to myself, the one detail that is interesting in this whole story is the marriage feast. It's not cancelled. It's not cancelled. The first group refused and all these things, but he does not cancel the feast. That's interesting. He could easily have canceled the feast and say, "Well, they invited him to come, let's cancel the feast. Oh, you know, it's okay, throw away the food and all." No, the feast is not cancelled. It's interesting for me. The feast represents the abundance of generosity of God. He does not cancel the feast. The feast stays on. People change. but the feast stays on. It's like I'm not being handled. It's too late, all the teachers are gone now. Thank you. It restricts me because I need to be moving around, So like I was saying, the feast is not cancelled. That's very meaningful. The feast is not cancelled. The feast remains. It's the people who are all changing, the groups, different groups changing, and finally with this group that comes to the feast. God's love is not about our love. Even if God is disappointed by one group of people, he still extends his love to others. He's not like us, human beings. There are people who've been in a relationship and they've been disappointed and they vow never to go into a relationship because of that. That one person disappoints you and then you just shut down everything. God doesn't work like that. One group disappoints him, even kills the messengers that he sent, but says, it's okay, the feast is not cancelled. It has to go on. The abundance of love from God for us. Now, here's a man who comes without a marriage garment. I was saying, I think the king is excessive here. First of all, it's a last-minute invitation. Maybe he didn't have time to find a wedding garment, you know? This poor guy, turns up and hopes everything is fine, but he's caught out. He's caught out. Friend, why are you here? So God is saying, I've invited you for free. You are not on the original list for starters. And I've invited you. And you can't do the bare minimum to find a wedding garment. That's what God is saying. You can't even do a bare minimum. So what I'm saying is that our relationship with God has a basic requirement. I've heard people who say, and many people, they use that loosely and we all accept. And I'm sure you've heard that many times. Have you heard someone saying that, I'm a non-practicing Catholic? Have you heard that? Well, I don't know what that means actually. You're a non-practicing Catholic. What does it mean to be a Catholic? What does it mean to be Catholic? He doesn't believe anymore, doesn't come to church, he doesn't care. He says, no, but he still wants to be there. I'm a non-practicing Catholic. It's like this guy in the wedding without a wedding garment. He doesn't make effort to go and get a wedding garment, but he wants to fit in and say, it's okay. It's not okay. You're not a Catholic. I'm not practicing. You're just not a Catholic. Don't come to church. Don't do anything. Just say, I'm not believing anymore. I'm not coming to church anymore. We understand that. I'm a non-practicing Catholic, Father. Oh, okay. Wonder what that means. So with God, I think there's an expectation of a basic requirement. Yes, we're his children. We're all created in the image of God. So there are two extremes sometimes when we talk about belief in God and what will happen at the end. There are people who go to the extreme and say, God is harsh, he's going to take you to hell and all these things. You know, those other friends of ours with other churches, they focus on that. The gloom, whatever. But then there are others who say, laissez-faire, it's okay. I mean, we're all God's children. We're created in the image of God. So what will happen to us? So everyone is going to go to heaven. And I've talked to people like that who are actually convinced and said, Father, we are all children of God. We all go to heaven. No one is going. There's no hell. But in this story, it says there's a basic requirement. There's a basic requirement. And the basic requirement starts with the first group. All they needed to do is to come to the dinner, to come to the feast. Basic requirement. Do your part. God is saying, do your part. The feast is ready. You didn't put a cent on the feast, but all you had to do is just to come, just to be present. They can't do that. The basic requirement. And the other guy who does not have a wedding garment is the same thing. Basic requirement. It's for free. Everyone is invited. Just have a wedding garment. Even some of them, the good and the bad, they had to make effort to bring a wedding garment, to be part of this. So God, when God is looking at us, he's saying, well, sometimes, he's not too strict. He's saying, but where's your part? Play your part. Play your part. Yes, I know things are difficult, things are easy. We're stressed, we're human beings, we make mistakes, but where is that basic requirement? Where is that basic standard that in your relationship with God? Our relationship with God is something that I would call, it's an active relationship with God. It's not passive. That's why this guy has to go out there, even his last minute invitation is to make effort to look for the wedding garment. Those people, they had to make effort and come to the feast. They didn't. So sometimes we miss it out because we neglect the very, very basic requirement of our relationship with God, so that we can fulfill what we proclaim and say, that we are God's children who are created in the image of God. I used to go to the gym there at Borodale. I think it's Pro. I don't go anymore. It's Pro Fitness. And there's a friend of mine who used to come there to the gym. One day he came and said, "Father, today I'm not working out." But he was in the gym. And I said, "Why?" I said, I just don't feel, I know, we worked out too much yesterday. So I said, "Why are you here? Did you come to see someone?" He says, "No, for the record, that I came to the gym. Just for the record." I thought he was joking. Yes, he walked around, talked to a few, and left. Just for the record. Okay. No difference from a person who says, "I'm a non-practicing Catholic." Sometimes there's no gray area in these things. There isn't. Sometimes we create the gray areas and we're comfortable in there. Non-practicing Catholic. And they emphasize Catholic. And I'm thinking, well, if you're not coming to church, if you don't getting the sacraments, if you don't care about the 10 commandments or the basic commandment, love one another and love God, I mean, why are you trying to claim that you're part of us and saying, "I'm a non-practicing Catholic"? Why are you trying to fit in, like the guy without the wedding garment, trying to fit in? Sometimes our relationship with God is not about trying to fit in. Just do the right thing. Just fulfill the basic requirement of loving God, loving neighbor, and be good to others. That's all. I think the story, like I said, expresses God's abundance, generosity to us, but we are expected to play our part. Like I said, the marriage feast is not cancelled throughout the story. The different groups change, but the wedding feast is not cancelled. The big love of God is never cancelled for us. It's always there. It's how we play our own part.